The Grand Highlander joined Toyota's lineup as a larger alternative to the popular Highlander. It's designed for families who just need a little more space in that third row and behind it. 6 inches longer than the standard Highlander, it's quickly become known for its roomy interior. For 2025, Toyota introduces the Nightshade Edition, a trim that adds blacked out accents and just a sportier look to this family-friendly mid-size SUV, but now with the efficiency of a hybrid powertrain. Just bought your dream car or thinking about a new ride? Whether it's a brand new vehicle like the one featured in this video or your trusty everyday driver, our partners at LegendaryCarProtection.com have your back. Recommended by ClassicCars.com, they offer top-notch coverage for new cars as well as your current classic, collector, exotic, or daily driver. Because your dream car deserves a dream protection plan, visit www.LegendaryCarProtection.com to get your free quote today.
Alright guys, so looking at the exterior, the paint that we have our test car in is called Cement. It's one of only 3 colors you can option on the Nightshade this year. Let me know what you guys think about it down below in the comments. I'm really digging it. The other 2 colors are a Wind Chill Pearl and a Midnight Black Metallic, but so far this has got to be my favorite. I'm really digging the big gloss black grille in the bottom here. We see more of that black trim coming across the front of the hood here, leading into our big Toyota emblem smack dab in the center. No doubt you can identify this is a Toyota product. A few inches below that, we've got one forward-facing camera. This vehicle has been optioned with the $600 panoramic view monitoring, which in my opinion is a total must-have, but we'll talk more about that on the interior section. As we look down a little bit lower, we've just got some hidden parking sensors. They did a great job at kind of concealing those. And as we move down to the side, this Nightshade Edition is going to get you these exclusive 20-inch alloy wheels. Again, looking good, looking cohesive. Even more so, finally, we have black on the B-pillars. And you know, there are manufacturers that offer sport packages that get you some black emblems, you know, little black elements here and there, but a lot of the time the B-pillars in the window area are chromed and neglected. So really cool to see Toyota's just kind of going all out, but it's not too bold, it's not too in-your-face flashy, it's just subtle enough, and it looks really good. We've got our turn signal integrated here into the side mirror. Again, it's black, same with our door handles here. We got the roof rails on top. Overall, yeah, really digging the way this exterior is kind of shaping up.
The overall design feels cohesive and restrained, which is kind of exactly what people would want in a family SUV. It's stylish, but not trying too hard.
Alright guys, so coming around to the rear end of the vehicle, you know, it still looks cohesive. It still looks like the same design language. It's not too jarring from the look of the front or even the side profile, so I'm liking it. We get this black spoiler up on top. We've got not a hidden wiper, but as we look towards the middle, we see more of that black trimming coming across, again, just distinguishing itself out on the road. Digging it, black badging. This vehicle does have a kick sensor, so let's try that out. And let's see how much storage space we're rocking with. Look at that. Very nice. All right, 20.6 cubic feet of space. Now, as we look behind this third row, just a little bit closer, we can actually find our jack in here and a little privacy screen that we can kind of take out, rig up right here and shut this to make sure that people walking by aren't gonna see what you got in your trunk area. And believe it or not, this is a hybrid with a spare tire underneath all of that, which is kind of awesome, because I feel like with all these new hybrids coming out and the load, the floor height having to be raised, we're finding that a lot of new vehicles just can't put a spare tire in there. There's not enough room with the hybrid taking up all the space. So really cool to see that here in this hybrid. If we go ahead and fold down the third row and the second row, we're looking at a little over 97.5 cubic feet of space, definitely rivaling some of its rivals in terms of storage capacity. Another great reason why this is a pretty practical family SUV. So looking at what's underneath the hood here, this is that 2.5 liter 4-cylinder hybrid engine. It's gonna push out roughly 245 horsepower. It is mated to an eCVT, so let me know what you think about that down below in the comments. It is also mated with Toyota's all-wheel drive, on-demand system that we found has worked pretty well. Now let's talk miles per gallon. You're looking at 36 in the city, 32 on the highway for a combined 34 miles per gallon. That is certainly not too shabby. Now this little 2.5 engine is the only engine you can get with this Nightshade trim. On some of the other ones, you can get the iForce Max engine, which is gonna get you a little more horsepower, and it actually feels really good, but regardless, you can't get that in this vehicle. But with that being said, I say we hop in the interior and see what we're rocking with.
The interior immediately feels upscale and inviting for both the driver and all of its passengers. The cabin has black leather-trimmed seats with heating and ventilation for the driver and front passenger, plus heated outboard seats in the second row to keep everyone comfortable. Tech and entertainment are front and center, with this trim coming standard with a 12.3-inch touchscreen running Toyota's latest audio multimedia system and premium 11-speaker JBL sound system. The Nightshade also carries over standout features from the Hybrid Limited, including a leather-trimmed heated steering wheel, a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and subtle ambient lighting.
All right guys, so as we look at the infotainment screen, this is that 12.3-inch touchscreen display. Of course, it's 2025, so it is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless compatible. Very cool stuff that we're kind of all used to. But when it comes to Toyota's infotainment screens, aside from the CarPlay stuff, they've always been pretty intuitive and just easy to use. You've got your little bar on the left side that has all the little divisions. So let's click the little car icon, and what that is going to show us, we've got climate, trip information, energy flow, and let's click that energy flow. Oh yeah, pretty cool stuff. You can see what the battery charge looks like, and we've got our settings here, very similar again to your mobile phone. Now looking at our climate control area, it's pretty perfect in my opinion. I like how it's all physical. We've got knobs to control the temperatures, buttons to control the speeds. Thankfully, it's not hidden away in a screen somewhere. My 2013 Lexus has my climate control in a screen, and it is just a little bit more of an inconvenience, so it's really nice and practical to see what we've got going on here. We've got buttons on the left to control our heated seat function and our ventilated seat function. And to be honest with you, I'm not too impressed with those functions. I don't find the seat gets to the right temperature where it makes me feel like, ooh, it feels so good. And that goes the same with the ventilated function. It's just, I want a little bit more out of it, but nonetheless, I mean, you can still feel it, and it's nice that they are included in this vehicle. As we look a little bit lower, we've got that thing I was talking about, that 360 view monitoring, $600 option that I highly recommend you do if you get this vehicle. What we're gonna do is push it while we're in park. That's gonna give us a 360 panoramic view of kind of what's around us, which honestly is not the most useful thing in the world. The thing I find useful is go ahead and put it into drive and then push the button, and you can see a bird's eye point of view of your vehicle and also a camera that's right in the front, which is just going to make going to the drive-thru a heck of a lot easier. You won't really have to worry about curbing your wheels. Again, been there, done that. So really cool to see. Once we put it in reverse, we're gonna get our traditional backup camera, but instead we're also still going to get that bird's eye point of view that's going to kind of move with the wheel, so you can really kind of plan out how you want to park this thing. Quite versatile. I'm liking what I'm seeing. But as we look at our shifter, we're seeing a couple different shifters across Toyota's lineup. This one is on the more traditional side. It feels beefy, it feels good. PRND, you can put it to the left to bring it into sport mode, up and down to control the kind of shifting. But how much does that really, how effective is that really with an eCVT? It's cool that it has it, but I don't feel encouraged to downshift and upshift. But, we've got two cup holders on the right, a lot of space. We've got a QI compatible phone charger, which is made of hard plastic, but it has charged my iPhone without a case, and it hasn't been sliding around. So I don't know how they did it, but it has worked really well. My phone does get a little bit hot, but that's a problem with the phone and not the vehicle itself. We've got two USB-Cs. We've got our drive mode selector buttons. That's actually not a knob this year, which is quite interesting. We've got Eco, Sport, Normal, and Trail. Of course, our EV mode button on the right for if your battery's charged enough to kind of cruise at low speeds, just getting that electric power. We've also got a downhill crawl assist-like function, which, you know, I'd imagine might be helpful in steep, slippery conditions. We've got our center console, which is kind of interesting. You know, it's very deep, a lot of room on the inside, but there's not a whole lot of room to kind of put your stuff in. I feel a little constricted at the opening, but once I'm inside, I mean, there's plenty of room. You've got this little tray that you can kind of play around with and get everything to how you want it to be, but just quite the interesting design. And that pretty much wraps up what we've got going down here. Let's look up a little bit further. We do not have the option to option a digital rear view mirror, which at this price point, I think is a bit of a bummer. I really like how Toyota's system works for their digital rear view mirrors, and I'm just kind of bummed to not see that in this thing. I mean, we're getting kind of luxury features with the captain's chairs in the rear. I just would have liked to see this in the Nightshade. Now, looking up a little bit further, there's another option that costs around $1,350, and that's going to be our panoramic moonroof. Really cool for the family, you know, when it rains. Very cool for the kids to kind of just relax and look up and not bother you while you're listening to this JBL sound system. But with that being said, I say we hop in the rear and just see how much space we're rocking with. All right, so sitting back here, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how much space I have. It is really comfy. I'm 5'10" for scale. I may have rounded up just a little bit, but we've got 40.2 inches of headroom, and we've got this cutout for the moonroof that makes it seem bigger than it is. So that definitely helps me think that it's got a lot of room in here. We've got 39.5 inches of legroom, which is certainly enough for me. I have not adjusted my seat to go any more far forward than how I typically sit in the vehicle. So even if I were to get a little bit bigger, I think I would still be quite comfortable. We've got plenty of storage in the door panels for your drinks, some knickknacks for your kiddos, little storage cubbies, and a nice little privacy shade for, you know, the sun or people. We've got more cup holders in the center here, and this is actually removable to kind of just make getting back there a little bit easier, but also make kind of cleaning up the nasty old drinks also a little bit easier. The seats do feel nice and comfortable. I have to admit the headrests are a little bit on the stiffer side, but we do have nice soft leather for the armrests and the backing and, you know, kind of the bottom part of the seat. It feels really good. I could totally take a nap back here. Now, my favorite thing without a doubt in the rear is the addition of the AC vents right in front of my face. And now that is super important. If you got kids, they play sports, they want to get in the car, especially if it's hot outside, and get cooled down quickly. And the cool thing about it is, Mom, Dad, you don't have to do anything in the front because they've got all the controls back here to adjust the speed, the temperature. You even get a heated seat back here. So if you're going to school in the morning, really nice and comfortable experience for the kiddos. Also, super cool that these captain's chairs come as a standard on this Nightshade. But yeah, you got one USB-C on the left side, one USB-C on the right side. Each kid can plug in their tablets and not fuss at you. And with that being said, guys, I say we take a seat in that third row and see if it's still as practical as it is here in the second. All right, guys, so I'm sitting back here. I'm a slimmer guy, and, you know, I would say I'm comfortable. For a third row SUV, it's more than I was expecting, but if I was a little more bulky, I think I might run into some problems. And I don't necessarily think it has anything to do with legroom. I think it just has to do with width, you know, back here, because we have two giant cup holders on the left side, which are kind of eating into the space a little bit, which is kind of like pushing me this way. But I would say I still am, you know, comfortable, and I could definitely survive back here for a road trip as a, you know, 5'10" male. So we've got one AC vent up on the top here, and that also, again, feels good, just like the second row. We got some lighting that we can control, a USB-C port on the left, and another USB-C type port on the right side. So really not much going on. And one other noteworthy thing is, if someone's going to be sitting back here, this seat headrest, it's got some movement to it. So I can imagine maybe if you fall asleep on a road trip and you go over a bump, you might get some feedback sent through your head and might wake you up. Just noteworthy. But with that being said, guys, get me out of here and let's take this thing for a test drive.
One of the first things I noticed was that this hybrid's engine can sound a little strained when you put your foot on the pedal, and you don't really feel that immediate acceleration. For a family SUV, while still delivering impressive fuel economy, it's adequate power. The hybrid system is well-tuned, making driving feel responsive and even a bit nimble. The suspension has a nice balance, soft enough for comfort but not too plush that it feels floaty. Exterior visibility is excellent thanks to that low hood line and large side glass, which make maneuvering in city environments confidence-inspiring.
Now overall, I thought this vehicle would drive exactly how it does drive. It's predictable, it's comfortable, and very easy to drive. You've got the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 system, which, I mean, that basically you set your cruise control and this thing is going to drive itself. All you have to really do is keep your hands on the wheel, but it's gonna steer for you, keep you in your lane, and adjust the following distance to whatever you set it at. Now, I can imagine that is super helpful for going on road trips. You got kids in the back, they need help opening their snacks. Instead of just, saying, Jesus, take the wheel, you can have some peace of mind knowing the car is gonna kind of keep you centered while you kind of deal with your kids in the back. Just remember, do it safely. We are trained professionals. So let's talk about power now. So I think the sport mode definitely gets the most power out of this little thing, but I have found myself strictly driving it in the sport mode because I felt that, the normal and comfort mode didn't give me that pep in my step that I was looking for. I imagine with the more powerful engine on some of the other trims, the iForce Max engine, that's really not going to be a problem, but these normal and, eco mode just kind of wasn't doing it for me. It feels really good in sport mode. The engine does have a bit of a growl to it, which is, kind of what you expect from a 4-cylinder. So thank goodness we do have this JBL sound system. You can kind of turn up and enjoy your driving experience and try your best to tune it out. But overall, I think the vehicle drives quite nicely. It handles almost like a sedan. There's virtually no body roll to it. The only really time I feel the weight of it is kind of coming to a stop. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty impressed. The suspension feels soft enough to soak up the bumps, but the wheel is stiff enough, and it's a nice balance between, kind of road feel, but also, like road trip comfort. So I'm digging it.
Our test vehicle, fully equipped, came out to $57,000, and it's been a solid companion throughout our time with it. It's roomy, it has a comfortable interior, responsive hybrid powertrain, and easy tech features. It proves that a 3-row SUV doesn't have to be dull or cumbersome. This is one family hauler I would certainly drive. My name is Luke Lamandola, and this has been my experience with the 2025 Toyota Grand Highlander Nightshade Edition.